To repair the relationship with my beloved wife, we both ended up taking a rather long detour. But we won't be separating anymore. This time, I want you to listen to my roundabout love story. I'm Bob Conley. At the age of 26, I met Lisa Yoder at my co-worker's wedding. Lisa was the same age as me, attending the wedding as a friend of the bride. When I saw her from the groomsmen's seats giving a toast on behalf of the bride's friends, I was, to say the least, completely smitten. Her navy dress and stylish updo were just too beautiful. Love at first sight. I ended up telling my co-workers about it, and thanks to the newlyweds introducing us, I was able to get to know Lisa. Then, at the age of 26, Lisa and I got married. Lisa came from a father-daughter family, but she had cut ties with her father. Turns out my father-in-law had a hard time holding down a job and was fond of gambling. Lisa, who lost her mother at a young age, lived with her father but seemed to have faced many hardships. By the time Lisa became a high school student, her father had stopped coming home frequently, and she moved out as soon as she graduated from high school. Since then, she seemed to have survived on her own while working part-time jobs. Knowing her past, I wanted to marry this strong woman and make her happy. So, at the age of 26, Lisa and I got married. But our life after that was not all happiness. Lisa got pregnant shortly after our marriage. We both wanted children, so of course, we were overjoyed. But she miscarried before she could enter the stable period. We could have bounced back after one miscarriage, but 2 consecutive ones really wore Lisa down. At the recommendation of our obstetrician, we had some tests and found out Lisa had infertility. It seems she could get pregnant but would repeatedly miscarry or have stillbirths. The cause was unknown. I'm sorry. The baby keeps coming to us but I can't seem to nurture it. Lisa sank into sadness and started having more and more depressed days. It's not your fault, Lisa. You're always trying your best. I continued to support Lisa. A while after being diagnosed with infertility, I invited Lisa on a trip to Arizona. Arizona is the hometown of Lisa's deceased mother, although it's not really her hometown since her maternal grandparents are also gone. But Lisa had always wanted to visit Arizona, where her kind mother grew up. I think going to Arizona was the right decision. The nature, warm weather, and delicious food of Arizona healed Lisa's body and mind. And for the first time since her miscarriages, she showed a genuine smile on this trip. On the last day of the trip, we were able to see a huge rainbow in the sky. It's beautiful. I wonder if my mom and babies can see it, Lisa said while shedding tears. I also teared up while holding Lisa's shoulder. They're watching. Lisa, I'm sure your mother is watching over our children from up above. This wasn't just to comfort her. I genuinely believed it. While watching the rainbow, we talked and decided that it's okay even if we can't have children. We would support each other as a couple. Is that okay with you, Bob? If you were with someone else, you might be able to have a child without any problems. I stared right into Lisa's eyes. I didn't want her to misunderstand. I didn't marry you because you could give me children. I married you because I wanted to be with you forever. What matters most to me is that you are with me, whether we have kids or not. Lisa was crying, her face covered by both hands. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. I'm sure that while she was struggling with the diagnosis of infertility, the thought of divorce must have crossed her mind. I'm truly glad we came on this trip before things escalated, giving us the opportunity to share our feelings. I genuinely felt that way. From then on, our life as a married couple was peaceful and happy, even though it was only for a brief period. When Lisa and I were 29, out of the blue, Lisa declared she wanted a divorce. Please, let's get a divorce. Lisa wasn't crying, her eyes not of hesitation, but of determination already set. Can't we talk it out anymore? I think my voice was trembling, pitifully. Yeah, it's not a proposition, it's a decision I've made. I'm sorry if it seems selfish. I think it was the first time I heard Lisa's voice this cold. Why? Can you tell me why? To my question, Lisa answered without hesitation. There's someone else I love. For his sake, I can't stay with you anymore. It was the first time she referred to me as you. Her words carried such a strong will that I immediately understood that nothing I could say would change her mind. Maybe I just wasn't enough to make Lisa happy. Or perhaps being with me reminded her of our miscarriage. Or maybe I thought of various reasons. But all of them were just me trying to run away from reality. Lisa loves someone else now. That's all there is to it, and I had to accept it. I understand. As I said that, Lisa bowed her head. She kept her head down for a long time, saying, "I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. Really, thank you." I didn't respond to her. I didn't want to hear thank you if we were getting a divorce, if she was leaving for another man. If she said that at the end, I couldn't bear any resentment. Even after all this, I couldn't think of Lisa as a terrible woman. Lisa in my heart was always my kind, adorable, beloved wife. Lisa signed the divorce papers and left the house the next day. I was curious whether she really went to that man, whether she could find another home that quickly, but there was no way to find out. I contacted the bride and groom of the wedding that led to our meeting and asked if they had heard anything from Lisa, but they knew nothing. No one else knew where Lisa went. Lisa had quit her part-time job, and she didn't answer her phone. The day after the divorce, I lost track of where Lisa was. I decided to believe that Lisa is probably happy with the man she loves. But I couldn't help but feel down, so I immersed myself in my work. My coworkers worried that I was overworking, but only during work could I forget about Lisa. I even went on a blind date at the request of my boss. You haven't been yourself since the divorce, have you? If you meet someone new, you might feel better, you know. The blind date I tried didn't go well. Well, the woman wanted to meet again, but I just couldn't imagine a future with her. I wanted the woman by my side to be Lisa. I just kept thinking that. I knew it was pathetic, but there was nothing I could do about these feelings. About 5 years after the divorce, I had a business trip to Arizona, Lisa's mother's hometown, the first place Lisa and I traveled to after our miscarriage. I decided to take some time off after the business trip and treat it like a heartbreak journey. Since 5 years had already passed, I had decided to take one last wander down memory lane and forget about Lisa once and for all once I left Arizona. Having finished my work at the business trip there, I went on vacation. I aimlessly toured the places Lisa and I had visited together. I remember having a great time when we came as a couple, but being alone made everything seem tasteless and boring. And so, I ended up at a small local diner we visited. Wondering what we ate here, I entered the diner and heard a bright welcome. I recognized the voice all too well and found myself staring at the waitress. Lisa. Yes, the waitress was Lisa. Her hair had grown out, she had lost some weight, but it was undeniably Lisa. Lisa also seemed to recognize me, looking dumbfounded in surprise. Bob. Seeing our reactions, the restaurant owner asked if we knew each other. When I explained that I was Lisa's ex-husband, the owner was very considerate and let Lisa out for a break. But it was a real coincidence to see Lisa, and I was worried that Lisa might find it troublesome, so I looked at her cautiously. Lisa also seemed puzzled, but I thought this accidental reunion might be some sort of fate, so I called out to her. "Do you want to talk outside a bit?" I was prepared to be turned down, but Lisa agreed to join me. We walked silently for a while, but then it suddenly started raining, so we rushed into a pavilion in the park. That's when I saw it as Lisa wiped her rain-soaked neck with a handkerchief. It was our wedding ring, dangling from the necklace Lisa was wearing. I pointed at Lisa's necklace. That's our wedding ring, the one we chose together. You said you'd met someone else, so why are you wearing it as a necklace? Caught off guard, Lisa quickly covered her necklace with her hand, but it was too late. And Lisa wasn't wearing any ring on her left hand. Perhaps she hadn't remarried. And why was she still in Arizona? Maybe there was a reason for our divorce that I didn't know about. That's what I was thinking. After all, would she lose so much weight if she was happy with someone else after leaving me? Lisa didn't seem happy at all. Even though I accepted the divorce because I wanted Lisa to be happy. Lisa, isn't there something you haven't told me? I couldn't forget about you these past 5 years, but I want to forget about you. That's why I'm touring Arizona again. But I can't go back to New York like this. Why are you still cherishing the ring? Was the real reason for our divorce because you found someone else? Please, I want to know. I'm begging you." When I bowed my head, Lisa said nothing for a while. But perhaps understanding that I wasn't going to back down, she finally began to talk. "The truth is, I got a call from my father. She hadn't told her estranged father where she was living after we'd got married. But my father-in-law had managed to track down Lisa's location and had apparently called her. He had lost a lot of money gambling and had racked up debts, so he asked Lisa to lend him some money. Of course, Lisa turned him down. But gradually, the frequency of contact increased, and it seemed that calls started coming into her workplace. Furthermore, these calls weren't just from her father, but also from unknown men claiming they had lent him money. It appears her father even threatened Lisa. If she continued refusing, he'd take it up with her husband. I was in the dark. "Why didn't you come to me? Nothing happened. You must have been scared." I've probably already caused enough trouble for you, Bob, by not being able to have kids, haven't I? On top of that, I didn't want to worry you about money because of the debt. I didn't know if this was going to be a one-time thing with my dad asking for a loan. If there's a chance that this could go on indefinitely, I thought it would be better to separate from you, Bob. After 5 years, when I learned of Lisa's feelings, I felt utterly helpless. Lisa must have been heartbroken at the persistent contact from her father. At the time, I was living day to day without even realizing it. Lisa made the decision to divorce, thinking of me. Feeling like I've only ever scared and troubled you. Lisa, it makes me hate myself. Are things still the same? Are you still getting calls from your father? Lisa sadly shook her head in response. It seems her father had passed away a year after our divorce. He'd always been a heavy drinker, apparently, and he'd fallen down the stairs of a bar while drunk, which was the cause of his death. At the same time, his debts disappeared, and the calls demanding money stopped. I felt a little relieved when the debt was gone, but still, when even such a terrible parent died, I felt a little down. It's strange, the ties of blood. But I thought, that's just Lisa's kindness. Usually people would not be sad to see their detritus, neglectful parents go. Lisa, even after our divorce, remained as kind as ever, I realized. But if her father had passed away, all of our problems should have disappeared. If only she had contacted me then. As if reading my thought, Lisa said, "Actually, I asked a friend to check on you, Bob. When I did, I heard from her that you were having a matchmaking meeting with your boss's daughter. I thought I shouldn't get in your way anymore and I couldn't contact you. I asked that friend to keep my situation a secret and didn't tell her where I was living." "No, you've got it wrong. That was just a favor for my boss. I went because I had to. Of course I turned it down. There was no need for me to panic since I had a matchmaking meeting during the time we were divorced. But I rushed to make excuses. I didn't want to be misunderstood as having a successful relationship with the person I met. Apparently, my feelings for Lisa haven't changed. And I had a feeling that was hard to describe when I found out Lisa didn't divorce me because she hated me. Lisa, I still love you. I always will. I want you to be with me again." Lisa shook her head while trembling. "The debt issue has been resolved, but my infertility hasn't healed. I didn't want to cause you financial trouble, but more than that, I wanted you to be a dad. You're good with kids and you're kind. But if you're going to be a dad, it can't be with me by your side." I gently put my hand on Lisa's trembling shoulder as she cried. "You know, if I could, I wanted to be the father of our child. But that was just, it would be nice if I could kind of thought. Didn't I tell you before? What's most important is that I want you by my side, now and always. Being a couple with you is what matters most." Just then, the rain stopped and a huge rainbow appeared in the sky. It was like the rainbow we saw together when we went on a trip to Arizona after Lisa's miscarriage. Lisa seemed to remember that too. "That time as well, when you took me on a trip, we saw a rainbow just like this one," I said without taking my eyes off the rainbow. "Yay, that's right. We decided then and there, watching that rainbow, that we'd support each other. I wonder if this is a coincidence." "Huh, what do you mean?" Lisa, wiping her tears, looked puzzled at my words. I made eye contact with Lisa and told her my thoughts. Don't you feel like this rainbow is cheering us on, like it's from Lisa's mom and our children who passed away? I think we've never been alone. I believe Lisa's mom and our children have been watching over us all this time. Let's stay together. I'm sure it'll be okay, because they are all with us. As I said this, Lisa smiled and squeezed my hand tightly. When I think about my mom and our kids watching over us, I can't lie about how I feel. I feel the same way. I've been thinking about you, Bob, all this time. I hugged Lisa tightly at that moment. I've wanted to do this with you for the past 5 years. I was a little worried when I hugged her again after such a long time because she had lost weight. I've been waiting for this for 5 years. Just as Lisa wished, I held her tight. After a while, Lisa began living with me again. We also got remarried. When we got remarried, we went to formally greet my parents again. And that's when Lisa spoke up right there. I will never let him feel sorrow again. I will make him happy, she declared. I was moved to tears when I thought back on the past 5 years. Lisa gently wiped away my tears with a handkerchief. I'm sorry for all the tears. It's okay. I'll be right next to you to wipe them away from now on. Despite being a man, I cried hard at her words. 2 years after our remarriage, we were blessed with a child. We didn't know if the infertility treatment would work, but we discussed it as a couple and decided to give it a shot. Holding our newborn baby, Lisa said to me, "Thank you for finding me again. Because of you, I got to meet this child." I was the one who wanted to say thank you. I will protect Lisa and our child. I am determined to cherish this happiness so that our family will never be separated again.